y'all know what time it is. This is the HBCU Daily Grind. I'm back, Omar Muhammad, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. And it's every week, this music is just super loud, but I like the beat. I like the beat, but I'm a father for now. The HBCU Daily Grind. I'm back, Omar Muhammad. Yep, I'm getting feedback, but we are here getting feedback from having multiple screens up, but we are back. I want to give a shout out to Mike Ballard for the beat called Rugged. So thank you for that. For those who are not familiar, we're here every Monday from 5 to 5:30. We always bring an entrepreneur who is an alum from the HBCU. But before we get to him, I want to let you know you can find us on our website at HBCUByAssociation.com. And the same thing with LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram at HBCU by Association. And with Twitter, we could put all that in Twitter. We're HBCU by ASSOC. So you can find us there as well. If you want to be a guest, just shoot me an email. If you will be a guest on this podcast, just shoot me an email. So without further ado, I want to bring into the fold, we have the brother over there, Leland Nelson. Hey, man, welcome to the HBCU Daily Grind.
Omar, thanks for having me, man. I'm very happy to be here.
All right, so give your HBCU a shout out. What HBCU did you go to, and what was your major there?
Hey, the Mighty Hornets of Delaware State University, man. Dover, Delaware. My major was accounting. So worked at KPMG.
Oh.
Yeah, I left when I left Delaware State. I worked at KPMG for almost 10 years, and I'm an enroller. So that enrolls program was really good for my experience at Delaware State.
All right, we're going to talk about it. Well, we ain't going to talk about enrolls. I didn't get into enrolls, and I was salty about that. But my major is accounting as well. So,
okay,
yeah, but it's a great program. I know a lot of people who went through the program, so it's a great program. So shout outs to Inroads. So before we get into your entrepreneurial journey, I do want to take you way back when you were a student at Delaware State. And I always think that there's 4 quadrants as it relates to HBCU. So I'm going to go through those 4, and you tell me if all of them resonate with you or just one. It just happens to spell out HBCU. So the H is for homecoming. The B is for Black excellence. The HB, come on, C. The C is for clubs and organizations. And the U is a united place or somewhere on campus. So which one, or if all of them resonate with you, just give us some story about it.
All of the above. So I'll start off with homecoming. So, homecoming is always impressive. You see your first one, you hear about it, you see it on TV. But when you experience your first homecoming, it's something else. And I'll take you back to 1992. I don't know when you graduated from college, but I came to Delaware State in
93.
So watch this. EPMD was hot. The bucket hats.
Yeah.
They had here's the truth. This is before homecoming though. This is a back to school concert. Didn't know. I didn't know. I just saw EPMD is gonna be in concert with a guy named Redman. I said, okay, EPMD is gonna be here. I don't know nothing about Redman. So went to the party early. I didn't know that people get there at 12 o'clock. I'm there at 10:05, 10:10. I'm ready to see EPMD. It's not a soul.
Right.
Me, the cameraman, and the DJ, and they're doing mic check. But it was phenomenal when I saw them in concert and saw Redman. He was just coming out some action. A month and a half later, he came out. And, the dorms were on fire with his first CD. So, but as far as the bands, the dancers, the bands, the alums, the fraternities and sororities, the barbecues, the music, the fashion, all that was just there, man. It's a lot for your sensory to take on, but I loved it. So I can't remember the other ones. You said homecoming. What's the Black?
That's okay. Black excellence, clubs and organizations, and some type of united place on campus.
So
where everybody just hung.
Well, you know, ours is a DSU circle. So that was because the campus, I was there, it's a walking campus. Now you go on the outskirts. You come in and then you flare out. We used to go straight to campus, and they used to have the circle open. So I want to shout out Meshach Stennett from Delaware State. He came in my class in 1992, and he came up with I believe he came up and founded the DSU circle. It was just a circle. That's where the plots were. How you parked your car, you got out. It was about 3 or 4 dorms right there, and you could just see it all happening. So that's when we hung out, the united place. Besides the student center, of course, you know, the yard. You know, all go down.
Yeah.
But we talk about Black excellence. It's just the teachers that you meet, the alums you bump into. There's a lot of alums that come back to teach at the university, and for the first time, and this is probably for a lot of our alums and students now, this is the first time you've seen a lot of nerdy Black professors. They're just dropping jewels what the real world is all about. So, you know, it kind of gives you this. We're gonna let you know, hey, that's not gonna fly. That's not gonna work. You might want to try that a little differently. So they're giving you the real because they've seen it, and they're bringing it back to the students to tell them, here's what's happening in the real world.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Let's go C. I know I'm gonna go with the C now. I'm gonna cover all your bases. So I have the HB, I did the U, I'm doing the C. So clubs and organizations. I was part of the accounting club. When I got to Delaware State, part of the men's council. Men's council was like your board that if you had any infractions on campus, they kind of came to us to have a peer judge and jury, if you will. I was men's council president. I was on the Stinging Hornet newspaper. I was a photographer for 4 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and a yearbook photographer. I got a lot going. I was a treasurer for the fraternity, Omega Psi Phi fraternity, my chapter, Psi Epsilon chapter, and then what else? I was on a wrestling team. So I wrestled my last year at Delaware State. I was very, very active. I want to tell anybody looking at the HBCU or current HBCU students, just maximize your time. You don't get that time. You know, you don't want to say shoulda, coulda, woulda. And the one thing I just wish I would have done is, you know, I wanted to wrestle when I went to Delaware State. I walked on, and my last year I was like, you know what? I gotta wrestle. I have to wrestle. So I walked on after 4 years. I had my job with KPMG. I had finished my Enrolls internship. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out. And guess what I did, Omar? I got a black eye. My 2 weeks into the wrestling season.
Oh wow!
A teammate, we were sparring. He elbowed back. I just boom, big old black eye, man.
Yeah.
But you know, Omar, I'm gonna be the other side of that.
Oh wow! So you had to work with that?
What's that? I had to go through class.
You had to go to work with a black guy?
Well, it was about the school year.
Oh, okay. That's what you said. Yeah. Wow.
Baby, they hit my eye. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Something, you know, you get a lot of sympathy because what happened to your eye, man? You know, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I would not trade it for the world.
Absolutely. All right. So accounting, you talked about the accounting firms that you work with. So how did you end up into this land of entrepreneurship? And talk about your business.
So let me tell you, let me go back to the EPMD concert. I met a gentleman named Mike Robinson. He was there in the corner. I said a DJ, the sound person, and a photographer. The photographer had the backdrops up. Right, it's very known in Baltimore, the Baltimore area. 2 backdrops, Polaroid camera, and I met him. I took a couple pictures with him, but I found out he was from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. I'm from Harrisburg, PA. That's rival basketball teams, you know, state. And I was like, I had the same camera you have. He said, really? I could use some help. And I ordered my dad to send my camera down to me, and we started taking pictures together. So our first homecoming, I'm shooting pictures on the backdrop with this guy I met at Delaware State. He became one of my good friends and my fraternity brother. He took pictures for 4 years, and it basically helped me pay my way through college. Wow. You know, everybody has a college hustle. You know, somebody's doing hair, somebody's doing nails, someone's writing papers. I took the instant pictures, and we built it into a network. Omar. We built into Lincoln, UD, Westchester, Delaware State, Wesley College, and we did Hampton. And if we had another opportunity, we kind of like, took some onesie twosies, but for the most part, UMES we did. So we used to have our backdrop, our light, our cameras. I had about 4 people on my team, and we used to go put backdrops up and shoot the pictures, and give everybody to their dorm room and put the picture on our wall. Now it's a cell phone. Back then you had to have a Polaroid.
That's right.
That's entrepreneurship was in my blood, on campus, making my own money, and then worked at KPMG for almost 10 years, and then spun off and started I had a clothing line we ran for about 12 years, and then it got me to where we are today with my junk removal company. It's called Dirty Dog Hauling, and my IT company, management consulting company called Think Tank Consulting. So Think Tank is about 8 years old now. We do state government work, corporate work, helping people find the right talent for their needs. So, people are out there looking for opportunities. It's a remote workforce out there. And now the world of work has changed. There's no longer saying, Omar, you got to come in here 8 to 5. They're like, no, I'll work here remote. And you're seeing a whole bunch of I think more opportunity because you have a bigger pool of candidates throughout the state. Because now, as long as I'm on East Coast time, I can still work for you if you're an East Coast company. If you want to work East Coast time or you're on the East Coast, employers are saying, you know what, that's good talent there. We're working remote, and we're going to hire them. And you don't know. Sometimes you might get a better rate. You might get a better rate from Baltimore than getting someone from Florida or New York City. So you're looking around for that talent, which is it's statewide versus regional.
Yeah, I'm hearing discussions about that now. Now that this pandemic hit, and for 2 years, and people were able to work from home, and they almost like you started a business, a proof of concept. Oh, now we can do this. Oh, we should be doing this. So individuals need to think about, especially students that are coming out now or in school and about to come out. You talked about being a member of Inroads. Like I said, I didn't get involved with Inroads. They didn't take me, but I had internships. Internships were really valuable to me. So talk about, going back to, we'll come back to the skill set in a minute, but I do want you to talk about your experience as having an internship and being involved with Inroads. How did that help you along the way?
Yeah, sure. So the one thing I would say is never discount the value of volunteerism. Volunteering your time, using your skill set, being be discerning regarding how much time you have out there, but if this is within your skill set. I love math coming through high school. It was a gentleman that was lacking in his math, needed some tutoring. I tutored that kid my senior year in high school. Now I planted a seed in high school. Didn't know the teacher was the husband of the KPMG Harrisburg HR department. So when Inroads came through her, and she was looking for talent, she tapped her husband and said, hey, that guy that's in accounting at Delaware State, tell me when I interview him. Omar, I didn't know what KPMG Pete Marwick was. I didn't know what that company was. I thought it was a radio station. I was like, is that a radio station? They're like, no, it's not a radio station. Went in for the interview. I know, right? So went in for the interview. They kind of said, I like what you're doing with volunteering in the community. We want to start this program with Inroads. We wanted to be one of our first 2 interns. So did 2 summer internships, learned a lot, kind of like try before you buy. But the agreement was in your senior year summer, they would give you the offer. So I was the first recruit of the class of 96 out of a class of 12. So I had my job before I even stepped on campus in August of 95. It was interesting. So
and I think
I work on campus, Omar. I'm like, I got my job. I don't know what you're going to do, but
I got my job. It's like, so it's interesting. Accounting majors tend to do that. They tend to, and engineering students too, your majors, they tend to have their job before they graduate.
Right, right.
So back then, was it the big six, or was it the big six accounting firms?
It was big eight, but it was merging. It was big eight at the time.
It was still. Yeah. Okay.
It started to merge in. So I got picked up by KPMG, Pete Marwick, and I worked there for 10 years and learned a ton of stuff as far as like how, time management, soft skills, teamwork, conflict resolution, and then the grind of it all. When you're in Big Four, Big Eight accounting, it's no joke. I mean, you're gonna make that money. You're gonna earn that money for sure.
You're gonna earn that money today.
Now, what happened, Omar, the past, I would say 10 years is more work-life balance. Because they were just burning out their, they were burning out their professionals. They said, you know what, if we want to keep these folks past 2 years, we gotta give them work-life balance. Yeah. Like if you're the partner, I'm trying to leave after you leave. If I have an appointment, I want to be able to go to my appointment. I'm professional enough to have flex time, do my stuff on a weekend or at night if I need to, and meet the deadlines of the client. Yeah. So I'm seeing more of that now. I still have lunch with some of the partners, probably once a quarter or twice a year. I try to reach out to my old partners if they're still there and go to their golf outings and stuff like that. So it's good networking.
That's good to know. So let's talk about those though. You talked about a whole bunch of skills. So as students are thinking about, just people who in general are thinking about, career changes, what skills are people looking for now?
I would say in my role, with Think Tank, they're looking for Salesforce business developers, right? They're looking for ServiceNow. If you know anything about ServiceNow, they have RPA, so anything on UiPath or Blue Prism or Automation Anywhere. There's a big push for automation because you think about it, Omar, people are out of the office and paperwork is still stacking up. So Pennsylvania had an issue where when they start applying for unemployment, no one's in the office to process the unemployment claims. So what you do is you run bots alongside a person to take care of mundane tasks, and then you kind of automate the process. So it's about automating things that are mundane and high, very repetitive. So our company helps corporations and government entities with RPA, robotic process automation. But that's a skill that is going crazy. On top of the Java, Java developer, project management, business analyst, those are different jobs that are really coming on board fast. So
does your company build the bots?
We can build bots. Yeah, we build bots. Yep. To help solve business problems. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be reaching out to you, man. I need a bot.
Let's talk about it.
I love that, man. So yes, definitely, man.
I don't know if you or your listeners know this, but the ones I mentioned, UiPath, Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, they all have a college sandbox that you can kind of use as a student and for very low cost. They want to get more people automating their tasks, and then as you bring that in, think about it. I go to a company, I say, you know what, we should be automating this. For example, you're an accountant. If you did an audit, why not do the whole sample? Why not do the whole population versus a sample size? So the bot can do the whole population versus us doing the sample size. And we really don't have total confidence on inventory count or accounts payable, accounts receivable. But if that bot goes through all the checks and balances, it can kick out all the ones that are very suspect and say, hey, look at these 100 different errors or ones that may have a little issue with them. Look at those. Don't look at the 100 you were going to look at. Look at these 100 that I see that are really in question. So
Wow, that's impressive, man. So you definitely want to reach out to you. I want to go back to the non-techie side, and that's the hauling.
Yeah.
So how did that get started?
So I was at KPMG. I got stories for days. As a matter of fact, I'll plug one of my trucks. Here's one of my trucks right here. This is one of my trucks right here. It's a magnet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but it's called Dirty Dog. It's called Dirty Dog Hauling. Dirty Dog Hauling. We started when I was buying real estate in '97. And the first person I used to always call was the junk man, to junk it out. I was starting to borrow his truck with my partner. I'm like, you know what? We're going to buy our own truck. Yeah. And then we bought our own truck and started just doing weekend work. Like I had a pager, and the pager would go off and we would call back, hey, calling you back from Dirty Dog. And they said, oh yeah, I have a few things. I didn't know how to price. I didn't know how to market. So I tell everybody, when you start a business, you want to run on paper, but I learned a lot in 17 years about how to run businesses. So, and this one was trial by error. You learn. And then now I'm getting to the point where it's like things are automated. As I sit here with you, I still have my trucks running out there because we have a system that does junk removal.
Oh man, talk about that, man, because you run in two different type of businesses, and I'm quite sure you're doing some other things. You mentioned systems. Talk about the importance of having those systems in place so that what you're doing an interview and you're still making money because your trucks are out there doing what they're supposed to be doing. So and you got this bot that's doing.
Listen, I'm glad you have a pen in your hand. I have a pen too. Watch this. I'm gonna tell you what systems. Here's an acronym for systems. You ready? A system. Watch this. Saves you stress, time, energy, money.
Yeah, buddy. Get them to again. A system
save you stress, time, energy. There you go. You want to build systems that run your business. I'm a big E-Myth person. If your audience haven't read E-Myth by Michael Geber, it's great. It's basically how you build. It's basically how to build the McDonald's of the world. You want to automate and systemize to the point where you're thinking you're going to build 500 of these units. So we want systems in place that's the same in Harrisburg as it is in Baltimore.
Absolutely. Oh man, you hit it, man. I'm always saying that to individuals. They always saying, man, if they're a solo entrepreneur, man, I'm stressed out. I don't have the energy and I'm losing money. I don't mean to laugh, but hey, now you have to have those systems in place. Got to have those systems in place.
And
I love it, man.
Automate as much as you can, and to the point where you want to put your time. You want to manage your time. It's time management. So I try to systemize as much as I can, and look at what we can automate as much as we can. So it's not foolproof or but it takes away some things that we don't have to do, and then other people can do it. You want the people to run the systems. The system runs the business.
That's right.
That's it.
Man, you dropping it today. I love it. All right, man, I want to take you back to Delaware State, man. So what advice would you give to Delaware State as it relates to entrepreneurship?
You mean as a student or just overall?
Overall. So right now, I remember when I was a student here at Morgan, we didn't have entrepreneurship programs. So, thinking about entrepreneurship, either programs or just thinking about entrepreneurship in general, they call you, hey, Leland, we need some advice about entrepreneurship. What advice would you give to them?
Oh, yeah, I tell them that, we've been lucky and blessed at Delaware State to have a small business development center in the College of Business. It's an SBD, Omar, right it's in the corner. You got to walk the hallway a little bit, but it is funded by the federal government. It's on the campus of Delaware State University. When I was there, it was a small little closet. Now it's a big old part of the building. And you can stop in there and get all your questions answered. But I will tell anybody to your question, just start. And know that you're not going to get it all. And I'm big on lean startup too. I don't know if you know about lean startup. Okay. It just said lean startup says start with the minimum valuable product. MVP says if I'm selling hot dogs, You might not like this, Omar, but all I need is the hot dog. I need the bun, but a friend might say, okay, Leland, you just sell me a hot dog by itself on a napkin. I ain't gonna be back tomorrow, but if I make some money then I go buy the buns. Make some more money, I go buy the condiments. Make some more money, I go buy, the drinks. So MVP said, let me test out my theories on just the minimum value product and put it on the street and do it like that versus like, I gotta have it totally correct because you don't know what they're gonna change. Your market will change quickly if you wait too long. It bypassed you. Get some social proof. I want to shout out. I don't know if you watched this guy, but David Shands is on YouTube out of Georgia. He has a website called Social Proof Podcast. I'm a big fan of social proof. Okay. Get yourself some social proof. Go out there and try it. Yep. Just keep it inside your office, inside your garage. Put it on the street and get that social proof.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And definitely. And I like that. So I still want to go back. I want you to give, what advice would you give to the HBCU, not the entrepreneurs, but the HBCU as it relates to entrepreneurship?
The campus itself. So I mean, if you're talking
to the administration.
Yes, sir. Administration. I'm on the College of Business Advisory Board at Delaware State University. I'm always big on making sure to be. So I've been on there for about a year and a half. I've helped out with we've been part of the entrepreneur pitch competition in Atlanta, Georgia. I was on that pitch competition in 2005. We took second place in best presentation. That's amazing. It's like battle of the bands for business plans. Really, it is.
We probably met down there, man.
Listen, it was blood sport. I couldn't believe how FAMU looked, Morgan looked, North Carolina. Omar, we dressed like the Bad News Bears, different colors, different stuff. And we learned a lot. Listen, man, you better come with your navy blue jacket, your Dell State top-color tie, your lapel pin. They were fresh, man, but it was so professional. But what I would tell the university is to nurture entrepreneurship. And we do have that. I want to shout out to our dean at the College of Business, Mike Casson. Mike Casson's an entrepreneur. He's our dean now. And I have a pleasure to serve with him on the College of Business Advisory Board. And he has on campus, it's off campus, but it's a partnership. It's called The Garage, where they just do startups. They just kind of
really.
A lot of these big businesses started in the garage. So get to the garage. Right.
Garage or dorm room.
Dorm room, right? So
I love it.
I like to say this though. Here's the real thing. Unlike Babson, I don't know if you know Babson College in California.
I know Babson.
About $60,000, $70,000 a year for Babson. But what I like about their entrepreneurship program, when your capstone is the pitch to investors. They want you to graduate as CEO, not just go, oh, that was a great pitch, Omar, and put your product on the shelf. No, this is a real product. UPS was a graduate student. UPS was a graduate student product. It was a graduate student presentation. It was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, you want to deliver packages. Now we can't live without it, right? But we got to nurture. Right, we should have some money set to the side from our endowment. Our endowment should take 1% or 2% into risk capital. Because guess what? If I do well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back. I'm going to endow the college again. The money cycles. So what you see at Drexel University and Babson, I will say to the colleges, take a warrant out on those small businesses. Hey, look, if you do well and do over X amount of million, we're going to execute a 5% warrant on your company. If you don't do well, it kind of crashes your mind, don't worry about it. But if it does well, I want to execute a warrant to take 5% and get that as my royalty for making this early investment in your company. That's why I tell the colleges now, make the investment, because someone on that college campus doing a great job. It can be nurtured. And they start having these business boot camps and things like that. We need more of it. Because you know what I learned in this pandemic? A lot of people had to become entrepreneurs. They became accidental entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and people, you don't know how many people emailing me, knocking at the door. So yes, Well, I mean, which is good. And now we have to, what you said, nurture them and make sure that they have the right resources so that they can become scalable. They can start employing people. We can start giving back to the HBCU. So yeah, I like your concept there.
So I just had, before I got on this call this morning, we had I'm the president of the African American Chamber here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
we have about 80 members, and we had our thing this morning called the Breakfast Club. Wow. And the Breakfast Club is just getting people to have coffee at a location and just sharing concepts and best practices. We might talk about marketing, social media, human capital, whatever it may be. We kind of pass we have table talk conversations. Today we had a guy talking about insurance, the power of having the right insurance for your business, to be protected.
Absolutely.
Properly. So we have a keynote speaker. Yeah. It is kicked off this month. We did it last year. We're doing it from April until October. So it's a really good way to engage entrepreneurs.
I love it, man. So one final question for me is, it seems like I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'll let you say it. So how did by attending an HBCU help you in life and in business?
Oh yeah, I'm glad I chose Delaware State, man. I'm just glad I chose. And I followed a friend down there that went to Delaware State. We played on the same football team. We live in the same neighborhood, and I was like, I didn't know where I would go. And my dad went to Albany State College in Albany, Georgia, but he didn't really talk that much about his experience. By the way, he was an accountant, and he was the HBCU. I found later in life, like, oh, that's an HBCU. I'm looking at all the different ones, but when I attended, it was a whole new world. It was a different world. I looked around, and truly, it was a different world. Like, wow, you got folks from Jersey, you get a Jersey crew, the Baltimore crew, DC crew, Philly crew, and this little kid from Harrisburg. Like, oh yeah, I'm from Harrisburg. Everybody else had crews. Like, they had a lot of people attending, and we just had like 3 of us. That we had to really get together. But I would say the experience is second to none. It's second to none. And the love. Everybody says, why do you go back to homecoming? It just refreshes my spirit every time. I only missed one homecoming. And what I did, Omar, when I was in California at a KPMG retreat, I called in and just said, keep the phone on the whole time. I have my friend that's like walking around campus like, this is Leland on the phone. I have my Nextel i9, I have my Nextel 90 clacker phone, like the one with the little microphone on it. I just had them to say. Now you can go live on campus. Back then you had to like, hey, put Omar on the phone.
Wow, exactly.
You had to put Omar on the phone. Like, what's up, man?
Exactly. It's amazing what you do now.
Now you can go live on campus.
Yes. All right, man. Is there anything that I did? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so is there anything I didn't ask you want to share with the listening audience? And then give out your contact information, man. I want people to be able to support your businesses.
Yeah, so I will say my contact information real quick is for the Dirty Dog business is dirtydoghauling.com. DirtyDog, hauling.com. Think Tank for the consulting side is thinktankit.co. thinktankit.co. Same on the web and Instagram, Facebook. And my name, Leland Nelson, so LelandNelson. You'll see it on, see me on Facebook. Follow me. Yeah, that's it, man. I would say just whoever. I don't know what your audience is attending HBCUs or plan to attend an HBCU, but I will say the ones that are there,
all of the above, man.
Yeah. So the ones that are there, maximize. You don't know if the person next to you. Sometimes your success is just the person you sit right beside. And I'll tell you this, I'll say this because we had and get with study partners on campus. I'm serious about this. I was an accounting major. That stuff was hard. And when I got with my little crew, I was an RA on campus. I forgot to say that I was a resident assistant for 2 years. We got together. We had a Sunday study crew that was amazing. Those people went on to work for Deloitte, EY, Arthur Anderson, KPMG, DuPont. It was some hitters on there. And that's what you want to do. You just want to compare notes. You're there to learn. Have fun. Have the best fun, but get to that work. And I'm here to tell you, it's all about time management. My dad used to tell me, when you're done with that class, get to the library, study. That's when you have it fresh in your mind. Then the rest of the day is yours. So it's really about time management.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, I do want to give up. Well, first of all, thank you for coming on, man. I do want to give a shout out because I remember this brother. He was actually on this. I can't remember which episode. Robert Youngblood. You know, when you talked about inroads, I mean, this brother, he's the epitome of inroads. I forgot to mention that when you said it.
But me and Robert like this.
Really?
Robert
small world, man.
Yeah. Robert came to Harrisburg.
Small world.
Yeah. He's Virginia Union. He's a Virginia Union, through and through.
Yeah. So he and I working on the project. We're working on the project now. You know, we haven't talked to each other for a minute, but he came on the show, and now we're doing the project together. So I do want to give a shout out to him as well.
That's awesome.
All right, good deal.
Wow. I'm gonna make sure I text Robert the episode out.
Absolutely. You can go to our website. Let me play some little bit of music while we leave it out. So you can actually go to our website, and we're at HBCU-association.com. You can find any other podcasts on there. We'll be back next week. We'll have another entrepreneurs from another HBCU. Man, we're going to continue to do this as long as we can. As long as we can find entrepreneurs, we're going to do it. So thank you for tuning in. Until next week, continue to improve and progress. Peace. Let me stop recording. Let me stop my live. Take care.